This video is going to be about replacing a ballast in a Panasonic fan and light fixture that's in a bathroom. The model number is FV, V is in Victory, 11VHL1. Some of the tools you're going to need are wire cutters and some screwdrivers. And these little guys here are really handy because there's some really tight fits to get at the wires, at the screws. So this is the model. The manual doesn't have any instructions on how to replace a ballast. I couldn't find any, so I'm doing this video. Ideally, you should replace the ballast and go direct to LED lights, although that requires some wiring. There's a video I'll direct you to that tells you how to do it. Because I had new CFL bulbs already and I didn't want to hassle with rewiring, I just decided to buy a new ballast. Okay, so I got this electronic ballast on Amazon. It's about $20. And it's the right size. So it's 5 inches long by 3 inches wide, 3 inches, and then 1 inch deep. So here's what it looks like on the back and on the sides. On the side you've got the ground, hot wire, and neutral. On the back you've got the same ground and neutral and hot. And then on the other side here, you've got the red, the blue, and the yellow. So you can wire it facing this way, or you can wire it from the side. But this right here is the part that you should be able to see when you put the ballast inside the container, and I'll show you that. Okay, to start this project for putting in a new ballast, you have to take off this cover here, and it's very simple. You just pull down on each side, and there's a pinch spring right here. You press those together, and then you can lift out the cover. So here's what the unit looks like on my ceiling in the bathroom. And that little light there is the night light. And then you've got the two places where the bulb goes, the CFLs. And this is where the ballast goes, right in here. So 5 inches long, 3 inches wide, an inch that way, depth. And right now it's just being held up by a couple of screws. There's one right there. And then there's another screw over here. Let's see. Right there. So once I take out those two screws, it's going to be hanging by a wire. And you can snip the wires if you want. I'm just going to leave them attached, and then I'll just pull out the ballast here and replace it. This is a vent. You can adjust this vent. There's the fans back there. And just so you'll know, right over here is held in by two screws. That's where all the wiring goes. It's a rat's nest. You don't want to mess with that. Okay, so right now I have got the electronic ballast out. Let's see, you can see it right there. And it's attached by blue and red wires on one side. And on the other side, you got the black and the white. So you can leave it like this, hanging, and work on it. In order to get this ballast out, you got to pry up on this lip here with a screwdriver, and then you have to loosen the wires. They're down in a little channel. There's places where they hook in. It holds them in place. So you just have to move that, and then you can cut the wires. Okay, I've gotten the ballast ready to cut the wires. You can see them there. There's 8 wires, 4 red and 4 blue in pairs. And they have to go into the ballast that has yellow wires. So what you do is you pair up a red and a blue and twist them together, a couple of those, and they go into the yellow. And then the other one, I'm not sure why, I found this on Amazon, what to do. You put 2 reds into the blue and 2 blues into the red. I'm not sure why, but that's what I'm going to try. Okay, here's my lame effort to put the wires into the ballast. So blue, blue into red, blue, red into yellow, and red, red into blue. Okay, putting this thing back together is not easy. Here's the screw. Here's the screw right here. And you gotta use this little tool to, first of all you tighten it by hand and then you use the tool to tighten it down. So you start over here and then there's one on the opposite side. It's a pain. In summary, it's been a couple of hours I had to work on this, but I finally got it back together. The one thing that you should watch out for is the wires. They need to be flat along down the middle of the channel, because otherwise they'll overlap, and when you try to put it back together and screw it down, it won't screw down. So you got to be very careful with that. I recommend putting the wires in the back rather than on the side. I did put them on the side, but I had a little bit of a difficulty getting it to cinch down properly. And so what happens when you don't have it right is that when you put in the cover, it sticks out a little bit from the ceiling. But the nightmare is not over yet. You have the issue going forward of the Panasonic lights no longer being available. So here's, see if I can get that to focus. Here's the old lamp, and I did find a Philips that is an exact match, but this is 18 watts and I need something with 13 watts. So I found this one. Philips has a 13 watt, but there's also this one you can get on from it's called Halco, and it's on Amazon. Now there's something that you need to know about these other brands besides Panasonic. See that? Right in the center? Whereas the Panasonic had the notch over to the one side. And what that does is when you want to put in the bulb and it's in the center, it doesn't want to go in because of the way the framing is. It butts up against the framing for the bulb. So what you have to do is get a file and file this down to where it's smooth. It only takes about a minute because it's soft plastic. Then it'll fit. Thank you, Panasonic, for making your light bulbs proprietary.